31st of August.
Okay. 31st of August. I'm on August 20th, so we're pretty close there. All right. Are you comfortable?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If you ever want to take a break or you're just through and want me out of your hair, let me know and I'll get out of here. Okay.
No problem.
Okay. I think. Let's see how we look at this. There we go. I think I like that more.
I'll be honest, I'm not comfortable in talking about war, but
Good.
it's worthwhile sometimes.
Yeah, I think it's important that young people and future generations know like what you guys did, though, and what war is really like. I think a lot of people don't know that.
I've noticed that the last year, going anywhere, they don't seem to understand.
So yeah, I really appreciate you sitting with me today and telling me a little bit about it. So could you state your name and branch of service for me then?
Leslie, it's Leslie, Schneider, Schneider. What else was it?
When you were born?
8/31/24.
So where did you grow up?
At Paw, between Lynn and Ritzville, Washington.
Is that where you spent your childhood?
Yes.
So you grew up during the Great Depression. Can you tell me a little bit what that was like for you and your family in that area?
Well, I can remember one time Dad ground wheat so we'd have morning breakfast. Well, it tasted good with sugar. Can't argue about that. And we accepted it.
You grew up during the Great Depression.
Yes.
Can you tell me, what was that? Did that have an effect on you and your family?
It had. Dad lost his farm through that. And then he rented it back from the rich man that bought it. And we lived okay.
Can you tell me a little bit about your dad? What was he like?
Well, Dad came from the old country. In the Russian, Rukain, what do they call it? The Ukraine? Wherever it was, but the German population. We're German, not Russian. I was born in the United States, and all of my brothers and sisters were born here. And when World War II came, I was drafted into the Army. And my sister was a nurse, registered nurse, so she joined the military. She became a first lieutenant right away.
So she outranked you then, huh?
She sure did. I remained a private all the time.
Yeah. So do you remember where you were when you heard the Japanese had attacked Pearl Harbor?
We were in Ritzville visiting my grandma, and I happened to go out to my brother's, he's an older brother, his car, and turned on the radio, and they said Pearl Harbor had been attacked. So I came in and I asked him and Dad, where is Pearl Harbor? And I told him about what I'd heard. So my brother rushed right out. He's about 15, 16 years older than I am.
Did you have any idea what that event was going to mean for your life?
No. It just wondered where Pearl Harbor was.
So after you hear that news, what are you feeling?
Well, my brother and I talked about it, and we both said, boy, if the Japanese attack Seattle or on the coast, we'll rush right over there where we've got our rifles. We'll drive them away. That's how we thought.
So did you enlist in the Army, or were you drafted?
I was drafted because the reason I was drafted because I was asked to stay by Dad for the summer yet, because they needed somebody to work, in the combines or harvesting wheat.
Why so you got drafted in the Army? Did you have any choice on what you did or what?
Well, this is very interesting. prior to that, you know, there was what they call the flying farmers. We farmers had owned airplanes, and I learned to fly at that Lind airport. I think it cost about $120 or so to earn my 10, 12 hours of flying time, and I passed. And I did a lot of little flying around the countryside. On Sundays, the guys that were pilots would get together and have breakfast. So I'd fly there. I flew into Walla Walla, I flew into Spokane by myself. I had a pilot's license. But when it came time to go in the Army, I reported to the draft board, and he says, "Leslie, you're in the infantry." I said, "I'm a licensed pilot, huh?" "No, you're on the list." So okay, they put me in the infantry, and I was shipped to Macon, Georgia. Went through infantry training there.
Can you tell me a little bit about infantry training and what that was like?
Well, at first it was mostly just marching and taking orders and close order drill. I was in with most of them were guys from Georgia or Louisiana, from the South.
What did you think of those guys being I guess a northerner or a westerner or whatever?
Kind of a bunch of dummies. I'm sorry, but they were stupid, and they had tempers.
Who did you get along with? Who were your friends in that time?
I can't remember his name, but he joined the paratroopers after we graduated.
So can you take me through what an average day of infantry training looked like?
Well, it's close order drill in the morning, and then they took us to classrooms, and you had to break down a rifle completely, which came easy for me. You know, I used to shoot sparrows off of the roof of the barn all the time with my .22. And I was good at it. And I guess I was good at handling the military rifle. Close order drill and doing, you know, handling your rifle was something to learn. They took us on long marches, night marches. Then you dig a trench hole for yourself, then cover it up again.
What did you think of soldiering? Did you like that, or was that?
I liked the discipline. And the sergeants were rough and tough, and they knew how to handle these Southerners. It was interesting to see how they did it. They didn't mess around. They'd go right up, stare them in the eyes, and tell them what to do or else. I guess I never did find out what the or else was. I sure did what they said.
I think you were probably smart for doing that, huh?
Well, I couldn't think of anything else. The sergeant was God, and as far as I was concerned, I believed in taking orders.
So when did you graduate from infantry school?
Gee, I don't remember. Honestly, I don't. It's so many years ago now.
So where did you go after that school? Did you get assigned to a division, or?
No, we went home on vacation and told to be back at a certain time, and we did. From there, they shipped us to New York, and they had to put us on a ship, and we were sent to Scotland. And from Scotland to southern England, And there we were issued our new equipment, new rifles, everything. And then they took us down to a coastal area, southern part of England, I assume, I'm not sure. But there were ships there. And we boarded them and shipped out. The next thing I know, I'm off of the coast of France. That's how quick everything happened.
Did you have any idea that you were heading into combat?
No. And but they let us know we were going ashore. We're going to take a coastline. The British were off, I think, off to our left, and they went in without any trouble, if I remember right. It's supposed to be a easy walk. I'll tell you, it wasn't.
Had you prepared much for that invasion with practice landings or anything like that?
No. Nothing. We just went ashore.
Now, can you tell me about that day, the day that you went ashore on Normandy, what you saw and what that felt like?
Well, what happened, there were other boats went first, and we were told that we would eventually, they'd have to wait till the boats came back, and we sat on aboard ship for, I think, for a full day or more. And then eventually we climbed into the boat and sat there. I think we were there overnight. I'm not positive just what the time limit was. But I remember I enjoyed climbing down the side of that big web. I didn't worry about it. But according to the American Legion magazine that I studied after the war, it was I think in 47, that they had some problems, that we were losing that battle. And the general or the admiral in charge of the Navy had been given the orders that to withdraw in between each assault. And he did, and then he saw they were losing. He brought his entire Navy up within rifle, cannon distance, and he opened up with everything he could put. He put his boats into where they wouldn't run aground. He went against orders, and they did. We did win.
So when did you finally start heading for shore?
It was about the third wave that they made.
As you were going in, were you in a Higgins boat? Is that right?
Yes. And I try to remember what they call those things.
Can you tell me what it was like riding in a Higgins boat? Was that a smooth ride or was it pretty
No,
choppy?
it was real choppy.
Were guys getting sick?
Yes. It didn't bother me any, but shells were landing all around us. And boy, when that big cover in front went down, I was out of there. And I thought I could walk on the water and discovered I was almost up to my neck. And waded ashore. And there was a lot of shooting going on. Confusion and dead. It made me think, then I woke up to the fact that, hey, we were in a war. That's about it. We made it ashore. We overran the Germans and found ourselves after a while in the hedgerows. And that was not pleasant.
go back, so you say you fell into your neck. How hard was it to move? Because you're carrying how much gear? Do you know how much weight?
I had my just my rifle and my ammunition. That's all I had.
Could you see where the machine guns were that were shooting at you?
No, not at the time. I was too busy looking around, seeing what was happening to us. And then it came time to look, and we eventually moved ahead. But I think the circumstances were, well, somebody else had opened the path for us.
Was it on that beach that you saw your first American casualties?
Yes.
What effect did that have on you?
I'm sorry. Ashamed of the human race. I was going on age 20. I had common sense. I was man. How people could be mean to each other that way. And I adjusted to it. I accepted the fact that we were at war trying to kill each other. People are so immune to each other thinking. You'd think they'd have common sense to. I'm sorry, I'm bringing back memories.
You know, that's all right. You know, you're not the only one that feels like this, and you're not the only one that's those negative memories still affect them. So, I just want you to know that that's all right, and you did what you had to do, and we appreciate those sacrifices because we're free because of what you guys did, what you guys sacrificed that day.
Well, things got better. The Germans backed off. We overran them slowly. It was interesting. Our tanks had trouble. You know, they had those hedgerows to get through. And whenever they'd go across, the Germans could use their equipment to blow the bottoms out of a tank. But our GIs had common sense, farm boys. They made bulldozers for the front of the tank. It took some time, but we were able to control that problem. We had trouble with snipers, and we had quite a time driving out of the hedgerows. They were cruel. Of course, they thought different than we did. You know, as a farm boy, I said, hey, why don't you stand up out there and we'll shoot it out. That was our feeling. And I think maybe that would have been a good way to do it. So, the argument, I looked at the opinion I'd win. I apologize for.
No, I think it's okay. It's okay. That is an experience not a lot of people have, and I think it's important that we understand what that was and what happened. So I appreciate you sharing that with me.
Well, I've always been able to talk about it, but I just, it's disturbing to think that I'm of a German background myself. I can speak the language, and having to shoot it out with men that they shouldn't be that kind of people, but they were. I had my experience with them, and then I adjusted. I have a notch in my ear where a German sniper shot at me. I saw where he jumped up to move. I shot at him 8 times and I missed him. The rascal. He made me angry at him. Put a bullet in his hind end is what I would have liked to have done.
Was that in Normandy that happened?
That was Normandy. But then the battle went on day after day after day. And we Americans